we're going to go over the ultimate rat tier perks. This is a bit of a meme list, and it's really just for fun. This is my opinion. If I miss anything, throw it down in the comments. All of this is based on my own playthrough. I am a rank 1 killer and a rank 1 survivor. So things that I know that have worked on me in the past as a killer, and things that have not worked or worked for me as a survivor against other killers. Again, this is more for fun. There is no script, so this is my personal opinion. If I miss anything, or if you think I, didn't represent something properly, tell me in the comments. Alright, so first perk, Alert. I would definitely say that Alert is an A tier rat perk. The ability to see the killer for a few seconds every time they kick a pallet or every time they kick a gen is really strong. So, and the fact that it used to have a cooldown but now it doesn't means that it can be really proactive on where you don't want to be if you don't want to get caught with the killer. Common Spirit only really counters Doctor, and Doctor only really counters stealth plays. But if you're going against a Doctor, you might as well just accept that rat plays are going to be very difficult, because Common Spirit is not worth running. In my opinion, it's a waste of a perk. Dance With Me is pretty good by itself, but with other perks, it can be amazing. If you run Quick and Quiet, Dance With Me, and Lithe, then you can just disappear. And that ultimate rat plays, but by itself, it's only a B. Dark Sense, honestly, it's just a worse alert. Dark Sense only triggers when a gen is finished, and you'll see the killer for a few seconds. And when the final gen is finished, you'll see them for a longer period of time. But honestly, Alert is just a better version. Deception, again, is another high-ranking, underappreciated rat perk. When you're being chased, and the killer thinks they know where you are, and you go around a corner, around a loop, and then you trigger that, and because it removes your scratch marks for a couple seconds, you can get around a corner and be in a place that they're not expecting you to be. Because it's not just the loud noise notification that you're giving, it's also the fact that it removes your scratch marks, and that can be key. Diversion is my ultimate Pebble is God. Pebble is the best rat perk in the game. I think there's one other one that is tied with how good it can be, but just when it doesn't work, which is not often, I play at rank 1, and most killers will check. And even if they don't, even if you go through like a jungle gym and you get to the other side and you throw the pebble and then run the other way, even if for a couple of seconds they turn to where it went and move there for a couple of seconds, that is so much time you get off of them. And if you can urban immersion away, or even if you use sprint burst or whatever, and you throw that pebble and then run the other way, even just for a second, if they look away, you could be gone. Distortion is good and bad. It can be really good. If you mix it with Object, you can look at the killer, reveal their aura, they don't see yours, and you don't have scratch marks with the way that old Object worked. But now, because it reveals you no matter what, and the fact that Barbecue triggers it, and there's only 3, I'd say it's not as bad as Calm Spirit and Dark Sense, but it's definitely not a great perk. Fixated is really good because it makes you learn how scratch marks work. So if you can see where your scratch marks begin and end, and how long they take to appear and how long they take to disappear, it can be really, really good. Once you understand how that works, and if you're not using Sprint Burst, it still can be really good, but there are other perks that are much better. Iron Will there's a reason it's a meta perk. The fact that when you're injured, it removes all of your sound except for your walking, because they can hear your feet going through the grass if they're really paying attention. But the problem is that the way that the music works in the game, if they just lost you, they usually won't hear you. This means that if people are good at listening and they use that to find where you are, this makes it impossible for them to find you. And it's really good against spirits, who, especially if you play at the higher ranks, this can be an absolute save. Left Behind used to be the worst perk in the game, by far, and now, when you're the last person, it lets you get the hatch. I'd say it's the same with Distortion. If you just want to know, if you're going to play like a rat all game, and you never get found, and then you use Left Behind to key your way out, that is a solid rat play. Lightweight is, I'd say, in that same category. Having less scratch marks when running around can help, but it's not, like, super helpful. Old Lucky Break was a meme and not worth running ever, but new Lucky Break, no blood, no scratch marks, mix that with Iron Will and, let's say, an insta-heal, and you take that first hit from the killer and just run away, activate that insta-heal, and then just keep looping like a jungle gym or something, and now you've insta-healed, there was no scratch marks, no blood, no moans of pain, and you're just gone, and now you're fully healed. That killer is either going to give up or spend way too long looking for you. Object of Obsession, I think, is still a really good perk, even after its nerf, but I don't know, rat perk-wise, it's not great, because it can get you tunneled, but if you're smart about it and the way that you're looking, you can use that to make it so you never get caught. Because if they see you and you see them, you can use that information to go away from where you know they're going to come from before they even get to you. So you can use that to counter loop them before they even, know where you are. Off the Record is just really bad Iron Will. Yeah, there is no reason to use this perk. Just run Iron Will. Poised is just... because you don't have control over when it activates, there are times, like, if you're running from the killer, they activate a gen, and they don't see where you went, or you get around a corner as a gen activates, but because you can't control that, and if you're activating a gen and just sprinting away, that can be good, but it's still, it's not good. Premonition is just a worse version of another perk we will get to later. If you're really new to the game, it can be helpful, but ultimately, not a great perk, kind of a waste. It can help you in the beginning, but it's ultimately one of those things that you should get away from. Quick and Quiet is a lot like Dance With Me, where when paired with other things, it can be very, very, very strong. By itself, it's still pretty good, though. You can fake going over pallets, so like run out a pallet, pretend that you faked it, run away, and if they double back, then you can Quick and Quiet over that same pallet and then run away, and they'll loop around, they'll think that, you faked it again, and by the time they get around the corner, you're already not there. And if they have or have not seen you, you can use that to outplay. Red Herring is either the best rat play or not, or like middle ground. I'd say A, because if you put it on a gen that you know is not near your team, then they'll go and they'll check that gen. They'll want to. But if you put Red Herring on a gen where people are working, and then you trigger Red Herring, and that killer goes over there and kills that person, technically, that helps you play ratty. But it's really, really good at sandbagging people. Self-preservation is a lot like Poised, but when you're in the killer's terror radius. If the killer is nearby and you just want to disappear, it can be really good. Not that great, though. Soul Survivor on paper seems like it'd be one of the best rat perks, but it takes too long to work, and it only counters auras, so it's not very good. And then we get to Spine Chill. Now, Spine Chill is the best rat perk by far. Nothing comes close to how much information you get, how much it just straight up counters undetectable killers, period. There is nothing they can do except for look away, but if they're looking away and you see them coming, and like, let's say Spine Chill triggers once or twice, and you look over and you see them looking sideways, you can use the fact that they're trying to counter what you're doing to just disappear. Because now, you not only know that they were moving in your direction even for a second, and if you can see where they're coming from, you can just be gone. And the fact that it increases the action speed of almost everything you do can win so many things. Unhook somebody and the killer is coming back, that 6 seconds can be the difference between finishing the heal and not. Or opening an exit gate, or finishing a gen in their face, or opening a chest. All of these things. Vaulting when you're being chased Because even if Spine Chill fails, while being chased, you will vault things faster. And this is one of the very few perks that helps with that. And that's insane. The amount of value that you can get off of Spine Chill is staggering. I genuinely believe that once you understand this perk, it's like Whispers, but on absolute steroids. Whispers, some killers will tell you, can help you. Once you understand how it works, it can get you on a survivor very, very, very quickly. But this is such a better version. It's insane how much value Spine Chill truly gives. I know a lot of people say that Spine Chill can be overrated. I don't think so. I think this is one of the most overpowered perks in the roster of survivor perks, by far. As someone who has played a lot of survivor and a lot of killer, both solo and with a group, when playing solo or as killer, I will see anywhere between 1 and 3 Spine Chills in almost every single game. So people know how good this perk is. Because even if the killer is good at finding you, even if they get on you, that increased speed to everything is just astounding. Genuinely, I'm surprised that this perk has never even been looked at or even considered for a rework, because I think it is by far one of the best perks and by far the most powerful rat perk in the game, because you will never get caught if you learn how to do this. Stakeout can be really good for finishing a gen or two. If you're on that last gen and you're like ratting around and they can't find you and you've been in their terror radius a bunch of times and you have a full stack, and then you use that to very quickly finish a gen because everything counts as a great skill check, that can be great for popping a gen in a speed that they are not expecting. But still, by itself, it's not super great. And last but not least, Urban Immersion. Personally, I think it's one of my favorite perks. I like being able to keep my head down. It counters hag traps. It counters Victor while you're crouch walking. You can use it to keep your head down from tricksters, deathslingers, and huntresses while you're at a loop, because you can duck and, you know, since you're moving pretty quickly and they lose movement speed while holding their ability up, you can crouch so they can't shoot you or hit you or throw anything at you. So you can use that to keep the loop going and not exposing yourself as much. Because it's a lower profile, it's much harder to see you, so you can skitter around. So by far, it is one of the most iconic rat perks, but it's not one of the best. I'd like to place it higher. I think it's definitely up there on the list, but it's definitely not the best. That's my tier list. Again, if I missed anything, or if you feel like I misrepresented something, post it in the comments. I look forward to reading stuff. And if you're interested in watching some epic rat plays or some boosted killer plays, I am live on Twitch most days. The link will be in the description and probably also on this video. Right here. In a place. Somewhere in the middle, maybe. In the corner. I don't know. See you there. Have a good day. I Twitch on stream.